You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God.
Tu es l'image de Dieu.
I hold you in my heart.
Tu es l'image de l'amour.
You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God.
Tu sei la luce di Dio.
I hold you in my heart.
Tu sei il volto dell'amore.
You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of love.
The face of love.
I hold you in my
hold you in my heart.
You are my family.
You are my family.
You are the face of
are the face of love.
You are the face of love.
The face of love.
I hold you in my heart.
You in my heart.
You are my family.
You are my family.
You are the face of love.
The face of love.
You are the face of God.
The face of God.
I hold you in my heart.
You in my heart.
You are a part of me.
A part of me.
You are the face of God.
The face of God.
You are the face of God.
Eres la luz de Dios.
I hold you in my heart.
Eres la cara del amor.
You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. You are the face
Tu
of
sei la luce di Dio.
You are the face
You
of
are the
love.
face of God.
You are the face
Tu
of
es
God.
l'image de Dieu.
You are the face
You
of
are the face of God.
You are the face
Tu
of
sei
God.
la luz de Dios.
You are the face
You
of
are the face of God.
You are the face
Tu
of God.
ruh خدایی.
You are the face
You
of
are the face of God.
You are the face of
Eres la luz de Dios.
You are the face of
To honor those who came before us and upon whose holy land we stand. We acknowledge the indigenous peoples of this land who have lived here since time immemorial. Sacramento is the ancestral tribal land of the Nishan people. We also honor the Southern Maidu people to the north, the Valley Plains Miwok people to the south of the American River, and the Patwin Wintun people of the west of the Sacramento River. And I welcome you. I'm Reverend Patricia Van Workum, and I welcome you to the Sacramento Center for the Spiritual Living. And isn't this a glorious day that love and the law has made? We are going to be recording this service because we use it as part of our social media outreach so that those who are not able to attend during this time can still be a part of our community. Please check us out on our Facebook and Instagram page and Meetup, and you can keep up to date with everything that we do. This year's theme is timeless wisdom and evolutionary vision. And we have a book that reflects each of those parts of our annual theme. The timeless wisdom is Ernest Holmes' A New Design for Living. And the evolutionary vision is a book by Valerie Carr called See No Stranger, a memoir and manifesto of revolutionary love. Anything by Holmes is wonderful reading, and I've read the book by Valerie Carr, and she has an incredibly personal story that is universal in how we handle and how we are resilient in these times of grief and change and trial. So please check them both out. We now have our greeting time. So everybody unmute and say hello and good morning and welcome to each other.
Hi.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody.
Good to see you.
Hi. Hello. Hello. Great to be here.
It is. It is now my pleasure to introduce our practitioner of the day, Linda Connolly. I've known Linda for several years, and I have to tell you, she has the most wonderful healing presence. I think because she's so grounded into the earth, into nature, and that leads to a natural grounding in the knowing of the oneness that's behind us all and through us all. So please, I welcome Linda, and I hand this over to her capable hands.
Thank you, Reverend Patricia. So as we breathe in, just breathe in and this breath of God, this breath of all creation. It is that breathes life into creation. It is that spark, that breath that we connect to, that we see, that we recognize in all creation. It is this connection that has brought us here today to connect and to deepen and expand that connection to the perfection that is in all creation. And it will be deepened and expanded through the message of Brother Luchan, through the guided meditation, through the music that dances with our soul. It is that kind of connection that brought us here. And in this, I trust that each and every one of us will hear exactly what it is that we need to hear today. And so in great gratitude for each and every person here, the production team in front of and behind the scenes, for all this, I am so thankful. And so it is. Our readings for today. Our belief sets the limit to our demonstration of a principle which of itself is without limit. It is ready to fill everything because it is infinite. It is entirely a question of our own receptivity. Science of Mind, page 36. We will not refuse to help the helpless or lift up the fallen, but we will refuse to wallow in the mud because of our sympathies. Science of Mind, page 55. In this interconnected universe, Every improvement we make in our private world improves the world at large for everyone. Simple kindness to oneself and all that lives is the most powerful transformational force of all. David R. Hawkins. In God awareness, problems dissolve because there are no real problems. In the mind of God, there are only perfect patterns of existence and divine ideas. Michael Bernard Beckwith. And now, please stay tuned for our guided meditations and our music. Please enjoy.
I am is your genuine self, your authentic consciousness. That which you attach to I am with repetition, with consistency, and with deep belief is what you are and what you become. I am abundance, I am beauty, I am strength, I am happiness, I am gratitude, I am strong, I am wise, I am wonderful, I'm persistent, I'm positive, I'm successful, I'm determined, I am motivated, I am confident, I am thoughtful, I am considerate, I am compassionate, I am integrity, I am intelligence, I am truth, I am wealth, I am health, I am plenty, I am good, I am mind, I am joy, I am one, I am perfect, I am peace, I am whole, I am grateful, I am secure, I am free, I am consciousness, I am awareness, I am mind, I am insight, I am revelation, I am illumination, I am enlightenment, I am heaven, I am unlimited, I am harmony, I am prosperous, I am success, I am magnetic, I am gifted, I am vitality, I am calm, I am relaxed, I am pure, I am noble, I am awake, I am allowing, I am creative, I am blessed, I am worthy, I am blissful, I am beautiful, I am gorgeous, I am grace, I am focus, I am kindness, I am imagination, I am inspired, I am vibration, I am divinity, I am light, I am the life, I am the way, I am divine, I am source, I am you, I am me, I am who I am who I'm becoming, I am who I will be, I am perfect, I am perfection, I am that, I am that I am.
And we will care for each other as the world around us unravels, and we will tend to the spark of hope that lives within our grieving hearts. And we are here now in this present moment, lifting our voices and hearts. And we are here now, we have come together, we are tending the spark of hope. Oh, may it grow.
Good morning again. We have a very special and multi-talented guest speaker today, Brother Luchan Baker III. He truly is one who can tend the spark. He comes from a family that has generated an abundance of science of mind practitioners, and not one, but two CSL ministers, the Reverend Malata Rasuli of the San Francisco CSL, and the renowned Reverend Eloise Oliver, who founded the East Bay CSL. They are his uncle and his grandmother, respectively. He credits Reverend Eloise as the one who raised him in our teaching and impressed upon him the knowing that there is not a spot where God is not. He is a former coordinator of the Youth and Family Ministry at the Oakland CSL, and at age 23, he became the youngest licensed CSL minister or CSL practitioner. He is a former battle rap MC and currently works as a case manager in San Francisco to remedy homelessness. Brother Luchan and his wife, Sarah, and his 3 children all volunteer and work to make Oakland a great place to live. And I'm pretty sure I saw Sarah on a little box, so she joins us also today. So welcome to Sarah. So please give a warm welcome to Brother Luchan Baker III.
Thank you so much, Reverend Patricia. So great to be here in Sacto. Definitely one of my favorite cities. Thank you so much for having me. In the beginning, there was God. This one sentence can get me through any challenging time in my life. It can also cause me to humble myself when I'm feeling my ego just a bit too much. In the beginning, there was God. A sentence so simple yet so deep. It's not only the truth. For me, it is also a reminder of where I came from and the foundation of where my overall existence is based. In the beginning, there was God. See, for this is my mantra. We as students of science of mind are very aware that there are only 2 vibrations, love and fear. Love, of course. Love is our default mode. Love is the very essence from which all creation manifests. Love is what makes us superhuman. It is the strongest force in the universe. In fact, the universe itself is pure love, which is why it only knows one word, which is yes, because the universe loves us. And well, then we have fear. Fear is simply the belief in 2 opposing forces. Fear, false evidence appearing real. Fear is the belief in separation from God. Now, as students of science of mind, we know better than to give in to such consciousness. But let's all be honest. This past year has given us much to be afraid of. A virus so deadly, it's caused all of us to stay in our homes for nearly a year, changing our economy, changing the way we socialize with each other. A president who incited a few riots and feelings of hate in our country, and a man on camera begging for his life as the very people we call to protect us took his life right there in front of us for all America to see. Marvin, we could really use that voice of yours right now. What's going on? God. God, nothing but God. That's what's going on. I was raised by hippie parents. My father went to Berkeley High in the 60s. So, I mean, you can imagine. And much of that really, really sweet cereal that all the kids got to have, I didn't really get. We got kicks in our house. You know, kid tested, mother approved. That's what mom wanted us to have. But every now and then, if I begged hard enough and annoyed her enough, she may let me get away with Lucky Charms here and there. I remember loving these Lucky Charms so much, but I would always do my best to only pick out the marshmallows when I had a bowl of Lucky Charms. I didn't want the boring little wheat Lucky Charms. I mean, who wants to eat those? I remember doing that a lot, but I always remember that when I did that, it always made the bowl way too sweet and I could never finish the bowl. I would always pick out the Lucky Charms I thought were the ones that were the good ones, the only ones worth paying attention to. And now, as an adult, I'm realizing that many of us have been led to believe this force, this being, this everything we call God is just all butterflies and rainbows, and it is not. Anything that doesn't give me the same feeling of those butterflies and rainbows in that box of Lucky Charms, all of a sudden would just be bad to me. Oh, God doesn't live there. How many of us can relate? How many of us can remember times when we've seen something that frightened us or agitated us so much that we just decided God does not live here. God lives everywhere but those saggy jeans right there. God lives everywhere except that loud, obnoxious rap music I can't stand. God lives everywhere except that argument I'm listening to next door. Yeah, God is everywhere but those places. The truth is that we human beings decided that. But it doesn't make it the truth, however. Let us remember that we believe in a mighty, omnipresent God, a God so abundant that nothing can exist outside of it. This is the God that we know. We all love flowers. Let us not forget that it takes both rain and sunshine in order to make our flowers manifest. We all have our fair share of both rain and sunshine in this individual life experience. It's easy to believe in God when the sun is visible. Who can still believe when the clouds start rolling in? Who can have that same joy regardless of either? Perception is everything. Tupac Shakur said, "Who do you believe in?" God lives for us just as much as we live for God. The power of God, which is love, is available to us however we choose to use, however we please. And we are always using it, conscious of it or not. The issue is that many of us believe in what we don't want to happen more than what we do. And the universe always says yes. That means that everything is an affirmation. Every thought, every emotion, every belief, every action, every non-action is a message we are telling the universe because we are universal beings, whether we like it or not, and we are always communicating with the universe. We all have difficulty. We all do. Celebrate yours. Celebrate the difficulty in your life. It can only mean one thing, that you've been chosen for something great. And don't forget that at least once in your life, you asked to be great. Yes, you did. Oh, yes, you did. Stop it. Yes, you did. You did. From the moment you took your first breath, you said yes. Yes, I will show the example of just how good God is. We all said yes. Second, remember that asking to be great is simply just asking for growth. That's all it is. And growth is uncomfortable. All right, fine. Growth is outright painful and not fun at all. It is a very unpleasant experience. Let's just be honest. Nevertheless, we all asked for it. And here we are. I don't mean to date myself. I just turned 40 2 months ago. So all 80s babies, I'm sure, remember Where's Waldo. And for those who don't remember Where's Waldo, it was this really cool book where just had the most amazing illustrations in it. And the trick, the whole reason you got a Where's Waldo book was every page was a theme, a Halloween theme, a sports theme, or whatever type of theme. And in all the confusion on that page, you were supposed to be finding Waldo. There'd be a lot of people dressed like Waldo. You might circle them on accident. There'd be all kind of funny things happening. And looking at this page, it becomes very easy to be distracted and to forget that you have a mission, that you were supposed to be finding Waldo. You can get caught up in the funnies. You can get caught up in, oh, that looks really scary right there. You can get caught up in so much looking at that page. Yet every page has the same exact assignment. You are supposed to be finding Waldo. From the moment we took our first breath, our only assignment is to see God. No matter how convincing the illusion may be, our only assignment at all times is to say, there you are, God, right there, I see you. As the pages turn in our lives, we all have different themes on that page. It may show up as an illness. It may show up as an annoying boss who likes to hear himself talk. It may show up as that coworker that likes to put their nose in everybody's business except their own. And somehow it seems like your business is always their favorite topic. It may show up as all these things and even more. It is our job as divine beings to only see the divine in all we see at all times. Back in high school, Keanu Reeves' movie, The Matrix, came out. And we all loved the movie, and became very annoying for me to go to church at that time because as someone who grows up in New Thought, I just have to admit, every New Thought minister was using Matrix analogies in their sermon. It was just like, come on, y'all. Like, and now that I'm grown and I'm preaching and I'm inspired minister, I'm over here using a Matrix analogy right now. I remember the part where Neo is going in to visit the Oracle. And as he walks in, there's a whole bunch of just divine beings around him doing amazing things like it's nothing. And there's a little boy sitting there bending spoons with his mind. And Neo is studying this kid like, wow, that's amazing. Suddenly the kid looks up and he says to Neo, because he sees him observing him, do not try and bend the spoon. That is impossible. Instead, only try to realize the truth. Neo's like, what truth? And the boy replies, there is no spoon. So Neo's like, wow, there is no spoon? And the boy continues, then you'll see that it's not the spoon that bends, it is only yourself. The spoon represents anything we see as separate from God. There is no you and God. There is only God. There is only God. So what are you saying, Brother Luchan? Well, I'm saying that horrible story you read in the paper, saw on the news, or heard from a friend, this too is God. The passing of a loved one who we miss and they passed under most unpleasant circumstances. This too is God. That end of a friendship or relationship that we wish was still going on and we're grieving. This too is God. That same annoying boss or coworker who was always bothering us. Yes, this too is God. Even that physical condition you are in that is unpleasant and uncomfortable. Right there in our deepest and darkest moment is the most beautiful and best time of our life. This is what Eckhart Tolle talked about when he said the power of now. See, our power is only right here in the present. The future never comes, and the past is gone forever. When we dwell on those moments in our lives, we thought, oh, I wish I was more prepared. Oh, I wish I handled that better. Oh, this. We are only telling ourselves that right now in this moment, I am not present. When we tell ourselves, oh, I know I'll be happy when I get that degree. Oh, I know I'll be happy when I get that one car. Oh, I know I'll be happy when my credit score looks like this. We are telling ourselves we don't deserve to be happy in this moment until this happens. But what if that deepest, darkest, most loneliest, frightening moment is the greatest thing that ever happened to us? What if? What if we really did give ourselves the chance to realize that God is all there is? We don't always have to understand it. We don't always have to understand how, but what if we just knew that there is nothing that can possibly happen in my life that does not work for the greater good of my life and well-being? What if we knew that? Now, I'm from the hip hop community, and in the hip hop community, we talk about these people that we all experience in life called haters. Sure, you've heard of them. And pretty much a hater is a jealous person, but not just that, they act on their jealousy. You know, someone hears, if they hear you being talked about in such a good way, the hater can't help themselves. They have to cut in and say, oh, that person's not all that amazing. See, that's a hater. And I used to allow these haters to get to me. It used to really bother me. I used to pay so much attention to what haters were saying. And a rapper by the name of Nas reminded us that sometimes hating is confused admiration. Now let's just think about it. In order for me to hate, I have to passionately think about you at all times. You have to stay on my mind at all times in order for me to be an effective hater. A hater knows things about you you don't know about yourself. A hater knows what you had for breakfast this morning. A hater knows what route you took to work. A hater knows your favorite color, your favorite band. A hater knows about that time that embarrassing thing happened to you in elementary school. A hater is your biggest fan. What a hater is really saying is, you are awesome. And I wish I could be a part of your awesomeness, but I don't feel like I'm worthy of it. I am begging you to allow me to be a part of your awesomeness. That's all a hater is saying. How do we know how awesome we are without haters speaking up? Thank them. That's the best part. God, you can't escape it. You can't escape God, right? But perception is everything. So knowing that we cannot escape God, we can either look at that as what an amazing story, or for some, it can be a frightening horror story. The beautiful part about that is we get to decide. That is the beauty of life. We get to decide, is this a horror story? Or is this an amazing action movie? Or is it a comedy? Or is it a tragedy? We are writing as we go. Racism, sexism, hate crimes, all that good stuff. None of these are the enemy. Our only opponent is our own comfort. Our own comfort is the only thing we are struggling and battling with. We've gotten comfortable with seeing God in only the sunshine. We've got comfortable in that. When the clouds roll in and things start looking different, things that we are not used to begin to reveal themselves to us, that is the true sign of whether or not we believe what we're talking about. Now, let me just remind you, y'all aren't here today to hear me talk. Y'all are here because I need to listen to what I'm talking about, and I don't want to feel weird about talking to myself. So I just need y'all here so that I don't have to feel like I'm crazy. Just letting y'all know. I know I brought you here and made it sound like I'm here to perform. That's not what I'm doing. I have assignments that I need to listen to that I haven't been listening to, and I just need y'all here. So I am telling myself that it is my own comfort that I am battling with. It's my own comfort. Just like time is a human concept, so are good and bad. So are right and wrong. Like I said, I was raised by hippies. So when it comes to nature, I have a very, very special place in my heart for nature and the environment and our animals that we share this planet with. So one day I'm watching National Geographic, and this is a very graphic story, so I'm just warning you ahead of time. There was a mother blue whale and her calf in the ocean, and out of nowhere, they're attacked by this pack of orca. And the mother actually swims away and leaves her calf to be attacked and slaughtered by this pack of orca. And as I'm watching that, all I could think about, oh my God, that is so terrible, until I realized that in that pack of orca, there were also their babies. See, had the mother and her calf got away, those babies in the pack of orca, then they would have starved and they wouldn't have eaten. These concepts of good and bad, right and wrong, do not exist in the animal kingdom. And do not forget that we ourselves are part of the animal kingdom. If we're going to say that God is all there is, then that means that all of it is good. All of it is amazing. All of it is God. There is no right and wrong. There is only God. I grew up in East Oakland, California, and I was a short and skinny kid most of my life, which made life very hard. And I'll just be honest. I always hear these stories of guys later on getting their bullies back after they, learn how to box and learn how to do something. I don't have that story. I'm gonna just be real. I never got any of my bullies back. What I did do is I remember having an uncle who was very skilled in martial arts. And I trained with him for a very long time. My least favorite part about training was the sparring part. And this particular day, I was called on to not just spar, but to spar with my uncle. And I saw how he would spar. He would not cut any slack on us. And I was scared, I was uncomfortable, and it was time to go. And so first I tried to whine and tell him, oh, well, Unc, I don't feel good. He wasn't hearing that. Then I tried to tell him at least 3 different times, oh, I got to go to the bathroom again. He wasn't hearing that either. It was pretty much, no, boy, you get to do this. And finally, I acted so pitiful and so hopeless, thinking, oh my God, I can't make this kid spar today. Look at how hopeless this is. He didn't fall for that either. And before I know it, my lip was busted and blood was running down my gi. And so I looked at him with my innocent puppy dog eyes, hoping that this would break him enough to get him to stop. And the look on his face was, yes, nephew, your lip is bleeding. What are we going to do about that right now? Now, we can hear that story and say, oh my God, how can you treat your nephew like that? But I am telling you that that was the greatest moment that ever happened to me in being a man and learning how to navigate this world with no fear at all. I never got any of my bullies back. That doesn't mean I didn't see them again after that moment. It's not the training and knowing how to fight that changed everything. It was the repetition. It was the meditation of training as a peaceful warrior that showed everyone, who then looked at me as a punching bag and a way for them to get out their own aggressions. They saw something come over me when they saw me that next time. They realized there was a transformation that happened. And quite frankly, I saw in their faces, they realized it too. I never got the chance to get them back because they realized, It's something different about Luchan today, and I'm not quite sure I want to treat him how I've been treating him before. Let me just be nice to him. This is what we must remember when it comes to bullying. See, we didn't have an anti-bully campaign when I was in school. We didn't have any of that. Teachers would pretty much say, yeah, you need to figure it out. That's something we don't talk about enough in this philosophy. Sometimes we have to be willing to be bilingual. Sometimes we have to be willing to speak the language of others. Some people only know anger and aggression, and that's the only way they choose to express themselves. And all we must need to do is show them, listen, I am here to love you. But it sounds like you're only willing to speak in this way. And the universe only says yes. So sometimes the answer is, and so it is. The very thing that has hurt you in your life, the very thing that is bothering you, that very moment you keep going back to and saying, why did this happen? That is the greatest thing that ever happened in your life. You don't get Malcolm X without the part about him going to prison. You don't. Had Malcolm Little not gone to prison, we never would have gotten Malcolm X. Let me tell you another story, because we all love Muhammad Ali. But let us remember the whole reason we even had a Muhammad Ali. Cassius Clay had a father who gave him a bike. And on this same day he got this bike, he rode it somewhere, left it for about 2 seconds, and when he came back, the bike was gone. Well, the only logical thing to do is go down to the station and report the bike stolen. But as soon as they got to that station, they saw that there was a boxing gym inside of it. Suddenly, Cassius was no longer interested in his bike. Something else had grabbed his eye. Now we can look at whoever took that bike and say, oh, how could you steal that bike? Oh, that was so terrible. But had that person not taken his bike, we never would have met Muhammad Ali. Let us remember that there is a divine plan in order, and our only assignment is to keep our mind focused on God, regardless of appearances, regardless of everyone else's opinion around us. Our job is to recognize the God in every single situation at all times. Always. Remember, I'm talking to myself right now. DMX, who just passed away, has a song called Somebody's Knocking. In that song, he talks about how he was doing dirt in the street and doing all these terrible things, and him not really even believing there was a God at this time in his life. DMX has openly talked about his drug addiction and all these things. And in this song, he then talks about how God was with him the entire time. God is telling him, I was with you there too. I was with you when you robbed that lady. I was with you when you packed your guns and were looking for homeboy. I was with you in all those moments. I was with you. You might not have chosen to listen at the time, but I was with you. There is no place you can go, no thing you can do that can make yourself separate from God, no matter how hard you try. God is the only power in your life. You are an individual expression of God right now where you sit, and you are amazing. You are whole, perfect, and complete, regardless of what the commercial told you. Guns, cameras, locks, special codes, safes, all these things sell so well in our country. Remember that you can't even buy these things without fear being on your mind. Fear is almost like our number one commodity. When I worked in sales briefly, I realized that the way you get someone to sell something is to make them insecure, to make them feel like they are incomplete without this item you are trying to sell them. It doesn't serve me for you to believe that and know that you are whole, perfect, and complete. I can't sell you anything that way. I can't sell you the special cream for your face. I can't sell you this cool car that that I'm trying to tell you that all the girls are going to like you and want to get in your car with you. I can't sell you those things if you feel you're whole, perfect, and complete. Right now, where you are, that very thing that hurt you, that very thing you tell yourself you are still getting over, is the greatest thing that has ever happened to you. Let's just be honest. Let's talk about human nature for a minute. Anytime we've had a breakthrough, anytime we've done away with a habit that no longer served us, did it come easy? Did it come without any pain and strife and uncomfort? No, it did not. Someone can tell you to stop smoking all they want. It isn't until you have a scare, something that frightens the mess out of you, to where you realize, maybe it's time to change my behavior. Maybe there is no good and bad. Maybe there is only God. Drama is popular in our culture because it gives us an excuse to not have to cultivate our own greatness. That's what reality shows are for. See, if I'm watching this reality show and I'm watching the most terrible person on that reality show, I don't have to deal with my own things. I can hate that person on the screen instead. Look at how awesome you are. Honestly, look at how awesome you are. Look at what you've been through. Look at what you've gotten through. I get it. I would be afraid of my greatness too if I were you. But guess what? You can't escape it. And it will continue to call out no matter how much you run from it. You are the light, not a light. You are the light. And what better for you to shine than to go into the darkness and be the light for those who can't find a way out of it? You've been chosen. That's why you're uncomfortable. You've been chosen. What if I just decided it's all good? That's what I keep asking myself. What if I just decided, you know what? It's all good. I hate when my wife and I argue. I hate it. But I realize that every time we get through an argument, it makes us that much more close and makes it that much more easy for us to love each other and understand each other. I realize that. And better not, none of y'all tell her I said that either. COVID, the former president, George Floyd, all of these things have brought us all together in ways I have never seen in my 40 years of being on this planet. Yes, it has. Thank you, Brother George Floyd, for being an instrument in bringing love to this country. Thank you so much for your contribution of doing that. We get to decide what it is. Perception is everything. You are the face of God. What if I said that to my so-called problems? What if I look directly in the very thing I'm afraid of, the very thing I'm running from, the very thing that keeps me up at night? What if I look directly in it, in all its ugliness and mystery, and said, you are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. Love is disarming. Love is disarming. There is nothing more gangster than love. Love is disarming. You can't, hate is the easy way out. I remember when I was about 16 years old and I was on my way somewhere and about to get on the BART train. And I was asking this AC transit driver for directions. And you can tell this man did not like his life or anything. He was reading the paper. He just had this grumpy look on his face. And I said, excuse me, sir, in my innocent and 16-year-old awesomeness. And he just doesn't even look at me and says, what do you want, man? thinking, okay, well, that was kind of rude, but I was wondering if you can give me directions somewhere. Where do you want to go? Well, do you know how to? No, I don't know where to go. Leave me alone. Go out of here. That's what he did. That's how he did me. And it was in that moment where I decided to participate. It was in that moment that I decided to jump in the mud with him, even though I was clean and dry and sparkly. I jumped right in that mud with him. And I started swearing and cursing and beating on his door because I felt violated. I noticed the more I got angry, the more I yelled, the more he got a smile on his face. Oh my goodness. We just traded days. He gave me his bad day. Literally, here you go. I don't want that. I want your day. And I know it worked because I saw him later on in the day while he was driving. He was driving his bus with a big smile on his face. We traded days. He literally offered it to me and I said yes. We can only be offended if we agree. We can only be offended if we agree. What we have gone through is our training and our discipline to remember that God is the only power in our life. This too is God. I remember that one story when I was doing security at this particular job. And by this time, I'm lifting weights and full of testosterone and ego. And I'm using pretty much intimidation as my whole reason for being at this job. And this one gentleman did something that got on my nerves. I forget, but this man was, you could tell he was slightly disabled and was different than a lot of us mentally. And of course, I'm going to use him as an example to make myself feel better. Yeah, I'm gonna show him I'm the man. And so I'm trying to intimidate this man. And I'm, hey man, how come you did this when I said do this? He looks me dead in the face, points at my mouth and says, I was distracted by your teeth. What? My boss hears that and actually had to cover his mouth and slowly walk away. I'm seeing him in my peripheral because he doesn't want this man to get beat up. And he knows, oh, we laugh at him, he's going to want to fight. I'm so shocked that he said what he said. Oh, he didn't stop there. He then looks at me and says, I'm thinking about going for 2 points. Then he takes his ID from me, looks me dead in the face and goes, and pushes right past me. He didn't give in to the fear I was trying to give him. He literally told me in all that moment, do you know what I've been through all my life? Do you really think you're about to frighten me? He just left me sitting there stunned. It was like a beginning of Curb Your Enthusiasm. I was like, da, 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 da. Really? Every time I saw that gentleman from that point on, I was like, no, you let him through. You let that man through. That is a warrior right there. Don't say anything to him. Our fear is there for us to see it as God. That's what it's there for. It's there to make us more awesome. It's there to remind us of just how amazing we are. We all saw Rocky. The part where he's screaming Adrian and she's screaming Rocky, and that part is okay, but the movie's over by then. I like the part right before then, where the scary music is playing, where we don't know what's about to happen, where his trainer's all in his ear saying, it's over, Rock. You can't do it. He's too strong for you. I can do it. Let me in. I want to fight. No, Rock, you can't handle it, Rock. He's going to kill you. And we don't know what's about to happen. That is the best moment in the movie. That's the part I want to see. We don't need to see any other part. You are the hero of your story, and you are writing it as you go right now. And the moment we decide that I am the one writing the story, we get to decide that whatever happens in that story, what it is. You are the face of God. I want you to think right now in your life. Think about that person you may be angry with. Think about that situation that every time you think of it, you ask yourself, why did that have to happen to me? I want you to think about it, and I want you to love it, and I want you to say, This too is God. Sacramento, thank you so much for inviting me. Thank you so much for bringing me home. I love you. I cherish this moment, and I thank you. And so now in this moment, we take the time to remember the truth. We take the time to know and remember that there is only one life. That life is God's life, and that life is perfect. One breath, one thought, one heartbeat, one everything. And in this life, we know that God is all there is. In this life, we recognize that there are no problems, there are no obstacles, there are only opportunities to express our greatness. And so however they show up in our lives, we are thanking and blessing them right now in this moment. The poet Nikki Giovanni said, "I am so on point that even my errors are correct." That's how much God we know. That's how much God we express right now in this moment. And so we look at all these moments, all these disappointments, and we bless them and we thank God for them. Thank you, God. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, God, for yet another opportunity for us to shine our greatness. I speak my word for the Sacramento Center of Spiritual Living, knowing that it is the house of God, knowing that it is a prosperous and vibrant house of God, where the truth is always spoken and manifested. I speak for everyone on this Zoom, everyone outside this Zoom. I am rejoicing, knowing that only God exists, so therefore we are all living the life of God. I release, knowing my word is law, knowing the answer is always yes, and knowing all is well. And so it is.
Am I strong enough to bear the burdens that sometimes come living this thing called life? Am I wise enough to make the right decisions when I'm standing at the fork in the road? Sometimes I wonder and ponder, only to realize I'm not alone and there's nothing I have to do on my own, because I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. Will I have enough to do the things I need to do to take care of myself? Will I have the health of mind and body to live a life of grace and wholeness? Sometimes I wonder and ponder, only to realize I'm not alone and there's nothing I have to do on my own, because I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place place. We are the place where God shows up. I am the place. You are the place. We are the place where God shows up. I want you to clap your hands and sing it with me. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up.
Eddie Watkins, can I have some more of that? Can we have some more of that?
Yes, and oh my goodness, we are Sacramento Center for Spiritual Living, and we are the place where God is with Brother Baker. Thank you so much. And now it's our offering time, and we're offering you free opportunities to give, and one's through PayPal or our credit card with our on our website you see on your screen, and also a personal check to our address that also shows on your screen. And don't forget Amazon Smile. Sign up for that and put us in there for donations so we get a little treat from that as well to keep us going and bring good speakers back. Thank you so much. And now remain muted in our affirmation with feeling and with feeling and knowing it's true, abiding by the law of circulation and the heartfelt gratitude. I affirm that I live in a creative and abundant universe that continuously flows in, through, and out as me, expressing as the ever expanding infinite good. And so it is. Thank you. And here's the latest news by Reverend Patricia.
And these are more places where we hope that you show up, because we know God's showing up. So we'd love to have you join us. There's going to be a book study starting this Saturday, May 22nd, from 9 a.m. to 10:15. Debbie Putnam will be leading Richard Rohr's book, The Universal Christ. And if you have a knee-jerk reaction to the word Christ or the word Jesus, please join the book study. It is a wonderful opportunity to begin to become a spiritual translator, as Reverend Sharon says, so that the truth of these words and not the impact of them, not the learned associations, can come forth. So please join us. We also have a wonderful event from our social, Linda, why am I blanking on the word? Social Commitment Committee. I don't know what else to call it. Tell us
Outreach.
Social outreach. Tell us about this.
So this is in June where we're going to gather. We're supporting the Women's Empowerment from downtown that supports women in with clothing, with finding a job, and supporting their family with shelter and food. And so we're going to be meeting to gather and to collect all these things on June 5th at Roche Park. So please come join us. We get together, we'll collect this stuff, and of course you can always do the financial donation also to Women's Empowerment.
This is a fabulous program. It's been going on in Sacramento for better than 20 years, and they really focus on empowering women in a very holistic way. So please join us. And besides, we're a whole lot of fun hanging out in the park. So that'll be something to look forward to also. Reverend Sharon has a fabulous mental equivalence class that we are wanting to gain a critical mass to launch. So if you are interested, we're thinking about doing this in the fall. Please let her know so she's got an idea of when would be a good time to schedule it. It is a fabulous class. I have all the material and I've read it, and trust me, this is a fabulous class. So join us and have a great time. Prayer requests. We have multiple ways because we do absolutely believe in the power of prayer. And I'm sit here as a recipient of that power and will sing its praise all day long. You can use the chat on the Zoom program and put in your treatment request. The chat, it will be captured for the practitioners to treat on. You can also go to our website and put in a treatment request there. There's also the opportunity to have a mini treatment with one of the 3 practitioners that are on the call today. Please send a private message to Ruth Hall and let her know if you are interested in having a treatment during our social time, and she will put you into a private room with a practitioner. So lots of options for prayer.
So our affirmation for today is, I have no big problems. I tell my problems about my big God. And now our benediction. As we just breathe in this moment, the message that we received in remembering the truth that there is only one life, and that life is perfect, and that is our life now as we see the face of God in all things. And when we look in the mirror, we remember there too is the face of God reflecting back at us as it does through all of creation. And with this, I am so thankful for the blessing and the message and all that we received today. And so it is.
I can see clearly now the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, sunshiny day. Look all around, nothing but blue sky. Look straight ahead, nothing but blue sky. I can see clearly now the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, sunshiny day.
And now please stay for our fellowship, and it will not be recorded.